Hey guys, David here and welcome to this video. So Ed from TechSource contacted me a couple weeks ago about wanting my help for a 3D printing project. Of course I was on board and he told me it was for Perfect Desk Setup 4. So you've now probably already all seen the video, and so here's just a quick behind the scenes on how I made all these parts. So first of all, if you haven't seen the video I'm talking about already, it's gonna be the first link down in the description, and I encourage you to watch it first, as this video will make a bit more sense if you know what I'm talking about. The kind of backstory to this is that a while back I submitted my old setup to Setup Wars, which is a show that Ed hosts, and he really liked my setup. I also got a seal of approval, which you can see up here. He was very impressed with my 3D printed desk risers, and when he was working on the design for Perfect Desk Setup number 4, this popped into his head again, and he contacted me if I could make something similar for him. Now the theme is Wolverine, and the centerpiece of the entire setup will be his water-cooled built electro box. Now I wanted to do something a bit special with the cubes and not just put a bunch of rectangular things there which are kind of boring. You wouldn't really need to 3D print them, you could just cut up some wood blocks and paint them yellow. So one idea we had was to use the claws from Wolverine that stick up in front of the dark desk, which, as you can see in the finished result, was a brilliant idea. So I just designed these blocks in Fusion and then used a model of the class from which I found online. I'm gonna have a link down below. Now it turned out that this model isn't actually that good because it has like a low poly count and the prints didn't came out that beautiful, but because I'm only printing a couple, I didn't bother to make something on myself because such a model is a bit more complicated and I don't know too much about Wolverine, so I didn't want to make a model myself. For some more accents on top of the desk, I also made this phone stand, which is the same phone stand that I sell on artof2.ch and where you can see quite a lot of them behind me because I took some iterations to develop that. I just modified it by putting on 3 claws on either side that kind of go up in front of the phone as well. With the black phone in the background, that looks very cool as well and kind of complements the blocks that hold up the desk because it's a similar effect. Now, of course, such a perfect desk has to have symmetry, and because 2 phones just look stupid, we decided to make a coaster for the other side. So first I just made the round body and then I wanted to just put the claws into it. But that didn't look cool at all, so I decided to put some text in there, found the Wolverine text which looks quite well, and also put the image on the top. Now, after I had the models, I had a hell of a lot of printing in front of me. I ordered this 800 grams spool of filament from 3D Cable In, which also have a coupon code for you guys, so I'm gonna have it linked down below with also the coupon code, which is here, and if you use this coupon code at the checkout on 3dk.berlin, you're gonna get 15% off your entire order, which is quite a good deal. Now, the reason I picked 3dk Berlin was not just because I've worked with them before, but they have a huge selection of filaments. They have like 6 or 7 different yellows, and if you follow Ed's channel, he had kind of a big deal with the yellow not matching of his spray paint and the cable in Electrobox, which was a huge fiasco that I didn't want to have again. So I made sure to get the right yellow.
Hey guys, Editing David here, and this clip you just watched, I shot this before I received the risers, and so I just assumed they would be fine. But as it turns out, the color didn't quite match, because somewhere in the process from converting safety yellow, which is the only description that was on the spray paint, to a RAL number, which then 3D Berlin gave me the right filament for, something went wrong. So this wasn't 3D Berlin's fault. They gave me the right filament for the RAL number I supplied, but I screwed up somewhere along the line. So Ed had to spray paint the risers to get them to the correct color. But now back to past, David.
When I calculated how much material I would need, that was actually after I had already purchased the roll, I realized that it was going to be quite close. And I had to bump down the infill a bit on the blocks to make sure that I had enough material. That wasn't that big of a deal. And the structural integrity is fully there as well with the lower infill. I printed sometimes a few at a time, sometimes I printed them as a single block, and it took quite a few days. I printed them, started the print in the morning, went to school. When I came back from school the print was finished, I started a new one, and then before I go to bed I started another one so I could print almost the entire time. And so it only took like half a week to print all these parts. And after I printed everything, the roll of filament was also almost empty. Now, these pieces didn't come off the printer perfectly. As I already mentioned, the model of the claw isn't really perfect for 3D printing, and pushing it through Fusion, which doesn't like meshes that well, didn't make it better at all. So I had to do quite a lot of filing and sanding afterwards. I also wanted to get rid of the layer lines. So I used some sandpaper and wet sanded all the pieces on the sides that were visible. This took a while, but I think in the end it is very worth it. Now the coaster I also filled in with some black acrylic paint to give it a really nice contrast, and because the paint sits in the grooves, I can just paint over it and then sand the top, and you're gonna just see the paint that is in the grooves and the top is perfectly yellow. So painting this is really easy and looks beautiful. And then it was already time to pack everything up and get it ready to ship. Now, because we don't just wanna show this beautiful desk, but also give a possibility for you to have some of this desk at home as well, I'm gonna have the coaster and the phone dock in the version that you see in the video from Ed on my website artof2.ch for sale. It's just gonna be a limited edition, there aren't gonna be that many, so if you want one, buy it now and you can have something that is very unique. And if you don't really care for the Wolverine, I also have other phone stands that you can customize on the website as well, which are a bit more largely available. So if you like this video, please leave a like down below and also consider to subscribe. Also check out my Instagram and Twitter handles for some behind the scenes footage and other fun stuff. Thanks for watching, and until next time.